Okay guys, so we're going to do a quick video real quick, and it's on Unit 51 in AutoCAD, and inside here you're required to begin doing a working drawing. You're going to notice a working drawing uses a size C sheet, something that I haven't gone over yet or even posted on the curriculum until now. So at this point I'm going to show you a quick demo on how to change some stuff up and then how to move from there. As of right now, you've gone through the tool post body, the wedge, the bolts, all this other jazz, and now you're to here. So a finished product would look like this. Notice the size sheet, how large it is compared to, let's say, a tool post body sheet. See how much smaller this is? This is landscape. This would be your size A sheet. And then if we go right over here to our working drawing, you're going to notice that this is printed off on the plotter, which is done on a size A sheet, or I'm sorry, a size C sheet. So one thing when you get to drawing within this curriculum, or when you get to drawing this part, the tool post in this part of the curriculum, you're going to be required to draw multiple parts. It's very smart to draw one thing or one part and all the parts that go with it in one model space. And the reason why is because you're going to notice that I would copy and paste this and bring it over here for a completely different drawing that I would want to print out. And the reason why behind that is because if I make an adjustment here for, say, the tool post body, and then all of a sudden I'm up here in my exploded view and I get rid of all of my dimensions. If I get rid of them here, it's going to mess it up on this view versus my actual exploded view. So that's why I move things around. This quick video is going to go over how to set up these pages, but also at the same time how to set up a different type of viewport, because this viewport right here is actually following the perimeter of this right here. And the reason why I did that is because I want to make sure that all my parts are on one page, but at the same time I can still see them in detail. This scale here is a 1:1. This scale here is a 1.25 to 1. So real quick, my very first drawing was this. After I had got it completed, I wanted to make another title block. So rather than going in here and right clicking and going into putting a new one on here, you can copy and paste this and then rename it. So I'm going to do that to 1, and then I'm going to change it to a demo piece. Because I already started, I just wanted to kind of get a head start so I don't have to go through all the necessary steps when you guys are this far in the curriculum and you know how things work. So in order to get these different pages, what you're going to end up doing is you will select one, right click it, and you will copy and paste it. What's very important though when you do this is that not only do you select the one that you want to copy and paste from, like this, tool post body, in parentheses 1, you got to go create a copy of that. And you're going to notice right when I hit OK, you're going to see another one pop up right here next to it to the left, and it's going to be in parentheses number 2. Now, the reasons why I put the 1 and 2 do not correspond to why I've been copying and pasting. They actually correspond to my curriculum here. You're going to see here, step 1, it's worth 25 points, but my tool post body is number 1. Notice the wedge is 2, the bolt is 3, and so on and so on. Those correspond with the actual drawing. So if I open this up and I zoom out of this, notice they have numbers here. These numbers correspond with what we're actually seeing in this. I want all these numbers to relay onto our actual tabs here. So to jump back to what we were doing about copy and pasting, to rename this, I'm just going to right click and I'm going to type in rename. Now if I were just to put out a bunch of stuff, if it's too long or if it has a different type of, let's say, a symbol they don't like, they're not going to allow you to do that. So like that symbol, they're not going to like it. I'm not going to type in demo. Well, I guess I'll type in demo 2. How's that? Because we're going to start and then I'm going to just show you the other part of it. Alright, so once the demo piece is put up, I'm going to bring this all the way over to about there so we can see what we're looking at. Demo 2 is not the same size as sheet C Demo 1. So in order to change this, you got to right click and you've got to go to Page Setup Manager, accept the one that we're trying to adjust, modify it, and change the printer. Right now I'm trying to print off on the color printer, which only does size A. I want to change it to the plotter, HHS CAD Lab plotter. Some of yours might be labeled different, but the key word is plotter. If it has plotter in it, it's typically going to be the right printer. I am then going to turn around and I'm going to change this, scroll to the very, very top, and I'm looking for ANS, or where is it at? I am looking for ANSI oversize C landscape. Okay, it's going to be 22 by 17. Once I've done that, I would do a real quick pause your video and double check to see if all of these match you. They should, but just so we don't have any issues, I would do that. All these boxes need to be selected, unselected, the ones that I don't have selected, and so on. I'm gonna OK this, and you're gonna see this sheet from the background completely change. There it is. So as you can tell, there's size A, here's size C. Now, I'm not going to go and draw this because it's just going to take more time and I want to get done with this video because you guys kind of have an idea what's going on. I'm just going to run over and I'm going to show you what we're trying to draw. So, back at our curriculum, size C sheet looks like this. You're 1 foot 9.5 inches across and you're 1 foot 4.5 inches wide. This step right here is actually 3/8. You're 3.5 over, 1, 1, and so on and so on. This right here is a typical size C sheet, but within the curriculum, I'm looking for all the views to be in here, which would be all of these babies. And the only way to get that to work out is we did a working drawing for the tool post body, and it is actually this one. Same size, 1 foot 9.5 or 1 foot 9.25 by however big, but now we put this in. So I went 6, I went 4.25, I went 3.5, 2.5. Once I blocked this off, I went ahead and did my 1.5 halves, and I made sure I had everything centered and justified. When I put my text in, and the text height is right, and so this is that point. Your next step, if we stare at this view, would to be change all this. Delete all this junk, and then start fresh and begin drawing by doing your lines, making sure that when you draw it and you type it in, however big the demo piece describes, would be to make sure that you're actually changing it to a border layer. Because if you don't change it to a border layer, it's not going to print out very well. So when I selected it, I'm going to change it to my border layer, which is going to be my typical 0.9 millimeters thick, which is a wide line, which is what I'm looking for. So if we went ahead and you did everything that I'm looking for here, your page is going to look like this. Once it looks like this, we're going to make some quick adjustments in order to create these viewports, so that way this line represents a viewport and this line represents a viewport. The only way to do that is to make this shape. So a couple ways. Notice this line is one whole thing. We're going to break it. And we're going to go to modify. We're going to go over to the break symbol. Don't get these two confused, because this one's going to screw you up. This one's going to help you out. So you don't have to be selected when you do it, but I always like to. I don't know why, but it makes me select it again, more out of habit than anything. I've selected my line. I will then break it. Now if I select this, notice it's going from here to there. And now if I select this one, it's going from there to there. I'm going to be a little more, I don't want to say fast, but I'm going to go ahead and get this done. Select it, break it. There it is. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go over here. Select it. I don't know why I select it. Select it, break it. Good. Come over here. I'm doing this to the complete perimeter of each viewport. That one's good. Go over here to break. That one's done. This one's all good. I might break this one just to be on the safe side. And I might break this one more time just to be good. Okay. All right. So now that these are broke, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select them all. Select the lines, of course. And I'm going to type in join, because by joining, I'm going to make them one whole shape. So when I scroll over it, it lights up the entire thing. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do it to this perimeter now. But one thing you're going to find out is I'm going to have to come over here and select these babies, select those ones. But when I select this, it's going to want to select that entire thing, and I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in join right now, and I'm going to join those pieces together. And then I'm going to draw another line, literally right on top of it. From there, and I'm going to outline this one more time. Okay, and now that I'm done, I'm going to select it. No, select it one at a time. And I'm going to select the outside perimeter. So I'm going to zoom in here, touch that one, and I'm going to type in join one more time. All right, so now I have blocked these babies off. So there is one, there is one. And this is kind of all by itself. All right, my very next step is you're going to type in, and you got to make sure you type in the exact word. So viewport, plural, add the S to it, and hit enter. Right away, a screen like this is going to pop up, okay? And you're going to hit OK. You want to make sure it's an active model. You can go single if you want, but you don't want to be jumping these things around. So we're going to go, that's good. I'm going to OK it, and we're going to do this big one first. It's only going to let you do a rectangle, which I'm perfectly fine with. So I'm going to go ahead and select it. And I'm going to drag it all the way over here to the bottom corner, and I'm going to OK it. Now notice, this entire model space is, or I guess this viewport scale is what I'm staring at here. So what we're going to try to accomplish is actually sizing stuff down to where when I want to show this viewport scale, it only shows it within this perimeter here. So I won't see any of this crap unless I make a new viewport scale and I have that one follow this perimeter, which is exactly what we're going to do. So right away, select it. Make sure you're selecting the viewport scale, and then you got to change it to the viewport scale layer because I want it to be the cyan color or however you pronounce that. And I want to be able to select it, and I want to see what it is. So if I go like this, see how it fixes it and see how it moves it around. Notice, I mean, we can do this, but it's not letting me cut the corners and make it look nice. The only way we're going to be able to do that is if we type in the word clip. When I type in clip, I'm just going to hit enter right away. Notice it's that icon. It's a clip block. I'm going to click it. I am then going to select my viewport, and I'm going to select the shape that I want to put it within. Does that make sense? So this is the important part where I'm going to select the complete shape. If you do not complete the shape, it's not going to let you snap to it. So I don't want to go to this one if it'll let me go to it, and it's not because the viewport's on top of it. But I'm going to go ahead and hit OK now, and it snaps it right to it. Now watch this. If I go to my paper space and I grab this baby, come on, and I move it around, look at it disappear. Because this line represents that viewport right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to select this, go back to my paper space. I'm going to select this. I'm not sure what it is, if it's a viewport or what, but if I hit delete, this viewport will disappear if it's the viewport layer, and it is. So I'm going to go Control Z. Okay, I am then going to turn around and I'm going to make it the border. There she is. Now, next step is to build another viewport scale for this one. So real quick, viewports, enter. Doesn't care what you select. OK it. Grab from corner to bottom corner. OK it. There it is, right? I will then turn around and select it. I will type in clip. Hit enter. And I will select the second shape. Not that one. Ooh, it's not letting me grab it. Notice that? So it's not letting me grab it because it's on top. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to right click and I'm going to move the drawing order to the back. So draw order, I'm going to send it to the back. So now that way I can see what I'm looking for, which is that shape. So I'm going to type in clip one more time. I'm going to select this, and I'm going to select that shape. And there it is. So if I double click this and get into model space for this viewport, watch it disappear. See how that works? Okay, now real quick, this scale is different, correct? So you've got to make that scale. The only way to make that scale is actually to go down here and go to custom. So just so I'm on the same page as you, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go to my paper space, or I'm sorry, my model space. I'm going to right click this and I'm going to go to custom. Okay, custom is going to pop up with a screen like this. You're going to click in add, and it's going to look exactly like this screen here, other than I clicked edit and it already showed me what I'm looking for. So you're going to put the visible name as 1.25 semicolon 1. Your paper space or paper units is going to be 1.25 equals the drawing units of a 1. And you're going to hit OK, and then it's going to pop up no matter where, and then you're going to select it, and you can move it to the front, move it to the top. It doesn't really matter. It just kind of depends on what you like. And to get back over to here, we're going to have this, right? So I want to make sure that this scale is drawn to that model space. I'm sorry, this viewport scale or viewport is to that model space. So I'm going to double click inside this, and then I'm going to go right over here, and I'm going to change it to 1.25. Now I don't know where everything's at right now, so I better zoom out. I better find what I'm looking for, which is this, and then I'm going to change it. And then I'm going to move it in place. Just like that. And there's that. So this has a scale of a 1.25, see? Now if I click this paper space, or model space, the scale is different. And this scale is done to a 1:1. So I'm going to double click it. I'm going to place that there. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to put it to a 1:1. And there we go. I'm going to look at everything real quick. Come back here. I'm going to move that into position. Sweet, sweet. All right. So there we are. That's how we do your working drawing, your very first working drawing, with two different multi-views. When you get to going on to your actual exploded view, you're just going to need the size sheet. Nothing special about it, but I did the same thing. See how I made a formant around it? I did the clip, made it come to it. And then that's just a 1:1. If I go over here, this one's a 1 to 1.5. So instead of the drawing units to be 1.25 equals 1, it's going to be 1.5 equals 1. So I better just show you real quick. Custom. There's my 1. I'm going to edit it, and you're going to see exactly what you need to see there. Close out of it. Get back over to here. Center button. There we go. All right. So I think you guys can get it from here. If you have further questions, go ahead and ask me. It's very important, though, when we set this up, you set it up correctly. And other than that, I think you guys are good to go. I think you're golden. So, yeah. Oh, one last thing. Yes. So, notice the difference here. See how there's a line underneath there? I'm going to switch the drawing order. I'm going to bring it to the back, and you're going to see that, which is my viewport. Notice if I freeze my viewport, I still see a border. When I showed you this real quick, I told you to make these all viewports. I want them to be viewports. Okay, it's frozen, so I got to unfreeze it before I actually change it. So there it is. And I want this one to be a viewport also. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to come over here with a line, keep it as a border, and I want you to draw right over the front of this. That way when you freeze this viewport scale, or the viewport layer, I'm sorry, it's going to completely disappear or move out of the way. Enter, enter. There we go. Now, if I go ahead and I freeze this so I don't see it anymore, but yet you still see the stuff that I want to look for. And that line's a little off. Get on there. There we go. All right. One last thing. See this here? You better center this baby. So, grab it all. M for move. Pull it up. Just a little bit. We might come up a 1/4 inch. There we go. Maybe a little too much. We'll come back an 1/8. M for move. Grab it. Come down an 1/8 of an inch. Boom. The whole point is to kind of visualize centering it the best way possible. And then you're set to go. So when you're ready to print this demo piece out, you're going to go up here and hit print. you're going to make sure your printer selected the proper way, which should be, because we went up here and we changed our page setup manager to accept that printer. But you're going to hit it and you're going to print it off. Now, just for your reference, if you wanted a page, small page, to fit in your binder, you can easily do that by just changing the printer here. Don't go changing it back in your page setup manager, or it's going to screw you all up. Change it to here. Let's go to the paper for a color printer and just change your scale. I think the scale that's been best working is a 0.48, and then hit preview and see what it looks like. Yeah, 0.48 works perfect. This prints off on the small printer. Everything's smudgy, but at least you can keep it for your references in your folder. All right, guys, I hope I covered anything. If I didn't, of course, I'm going to hear some. So if you find something out that's easier, let me know. Keep in mind, I'm not all-knowing, even though I like to think I am. It's a joke. Okay, later, amigos.